Let's jump into this show, Jem, because we have some fun stuff we're going to discuss. I want to get into some, I don't know, a little bit of like what we're doing throughout this time. We're at home, we're doing comic stuff, but I want to know specifics, like any recommendations. I saw a video you made this last week about what you're doing throughout the isolation that we're all experiencing, and I saw a video where you're like dusting statues. Are you okay, man? Are you really dusting your statues right now?
You got to dust your statues. Yeah, we put out a video, 5 things collectors can do during quarantine. And it's kind of like things that we should always be doing. But, you know, with life, it gets in the way and you put these things to the back burner. But yeah, like, you know, dusting your statues or bagging and boarding your comics or organizing your collection, categorizing it, reading comics. I mean, I know most of us have a huge backlog of either single issues or you end up buying 10 omnibus and you've only read 1. So that kind of a thing. Dude,
back when I was younger and I used to collect Pokemon cards, I used to literally take the afternoon, put all my cards out, take them all out of the binder just to reorganize them for absolutely no reason. Dude, I'm almost 30 and I'm literally doing that with my comics in my living room right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I know,
we're collectors, man, and we tend to buy more than we organize or read or whatever, so it's only natural. This is a time where we could catch up.
Well, you know what? I also have been looking at your shelf here. You have so much great reading material. I've been trying to get caught up on some books, and I can't stop looking at those lights. So I figured now's the best time to do it.
Uh-oh, what happened?
All right. Can you tell that I straight up copied you?
Tom, the key to a successful channel is LED light strips. I mean, that's all you got to have.
For the audio members, if you don't have the visual, I have LEDs that I've loosely strung up just for this video on my set. Hopefully it'll look a bit better in coming weeks. But Jem, your set is looking great. What have you been reading throughout this time? Any recommendations to the comic book community?
So, man, I've been getting into manga lately. Berserk has got me like full blown into manga. Started reading stuff like Vinland Saga, and right now I'm finishing up Death Note. I love it. It's so different. It doesn't even feel like a manga. You think Dragon Ball, like high flying action and stuff like that, but Death Note is such a intellectual thriller type of book. So I've been reading that. But as far as recommendations, I think you guys need to take this time to catch up on Gideon Falls. That is a Jeff Lemire book. It's amazing. There's trade paperbacks out there. I'm sure you could get them on Amazon or get them online somewhere. But Gideon Falls is something that I recommend everybody gets caught up on.
That's fun. You picked kind of like I mean, honestly, both of those recommendations. Death Note is kind of a post-apocalyptic. I mean, it's mass murder and crazy events happening, like science fiction. Right. Fantasy, love Death Note. Really, really strongly recommended. But also Gideon Falls, another one kind of post-apocalyptic. I tend to do this when I'm feeling kind of stressed out. If I'm at home or trying to keep occupied, I tend to navigate towards more horror stuff. And being that I'm locked inside, I'm doing my social distancing, and I'm also kind of worried, you know, a little scared. This is weird what we're experiencing right now. I'm navigating towards like the most horrific stuff, like 28 Days Later movies. And my reading is reflecting that as well. So a couple of recommendations I have is, however you like to call it, Memetic is actually a word, but I've heard some people call it Memetic, which is a 3-issue series that I strongly recommend. Post-apocalyptic, super dark, very mature. And another is Trees. There's 3 volumes of it. They're in their 3rd, but you can get the first 2 trades right now, and both are very fun.
And I only read the 3rd volume, and I got to tell you, I think you could just pick that up and start right from there too. It's not like you need to know everything that happened in the prior 2 volumes.
Correct. You know, they're kind of their own individual story as in Trees. Each volume is kind of its own narrative about a world where aliens come, but they don't communicate with us. They just live amongst us, and it's about the societies that form around these tree-like structures. Memetic was actually something that was optioned a couple months back by Seth Rogen's company, and I went ahead and read it because issue number 1, you know, all the issues, they have a very kind of standard cover A, but issue number 1 had a variant. It was a 1 in 25, and it has a sloth on it, and it's one of the most inviting covers you can look at. It's a cute sloth. You wouldn't think anything of it. But after getting to issue 3 in this run, you realize that that sloth is one of the most horrific things that you'll ever look at. And now I can't even look at a sloth the same. And to think that Seth Rogen has taken on this comic book is kind of crazy, because it's very out there. It has to do not just with a sloth, but the sloth is a symbol of a weapon. The sloth is a meme that's utilized as a weapon to drive the world crazy, and aliens get involved. And yeah, you got to read this book.
Sounds crazy.